Hey everyone, I'm back. I know it's been a super long time. I actually moved across the country, got a job, switched jobs, and moved back. I'm working at chess.com now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I finally found the time and energy to make a video, and I really hope that you guys enjoy this one. One more quick note, I narrated my thought process from start to finish while I was creating this puzzle, and if you don't want to see that, then that's fine. I'll link in the video description the timestamp for just going directly to the puzzle and the solution. But if not, you can just watch all the way through and see how a true masterpiece is made. So today I'm going to go from start to finish and show the process behind the scenes of how I come up with some of these chess puzzles. For this one, I actually have an idea already. One of my friends suggested to me that I should create a puzzle where the solution involves under promoting to a knight where white already has 2 knights. So white would have 3 knights in total, and that would be the only way to solve the puzzle. So I'm going to walk through some critical moments now of this process and explain what I'm thinking and how I work both backwards and forwards in order to create these problems. So at this point, I've spent about 15 minutes messing around with various positions, and I have no idea at this point if this is anything close to what the final position will be like. But one decision that I have made is I like stalemates. So even though technically you could have a position where you need 3 knights in order to win for non-stalemate reasons, I'm deciding to go for the stalemate path. After spending a few hours, I finally have a position where promoting to a knight is the only way to win. It took a lot of different tries and guess and check work with the computer, but now at least I have something that could serve as a base. At this point, the key idea is this variation, winning the queen, and promoting to a queen doesn't work ultimately because of a stalemate trick, but I will likely continue to work my way backwards to make it a little more complicated. But this is definitely progress. So I've managed to extend my puzzle by a couple of moves, and at each step I checked with the computer, and it appears that it does actually work. What I first asked myself from this position, where I already know I have a solution, is what were black and white's last moves? And in this case, we can pretty easily answer that. I could just move the pawn back and the king back, and then we see c7 could have been white's last move. You can't take because of knight d5, so then after king a7, we already have a known position. Then I can even go one move further back and say again, what were black and white's last moves? And one way to answer that is to put the king here and bring back the knight. Now, I checked this position with the computer as well, and knight d6 ends up only being a draw after king c7, knight e8, so it turns out that this works. Knight b6 check, and king b8 is forced. If you play king d8, then c7 check, and black just loses because white's queening. So if you skip to this part of the video, this is the puzzle position, and I'll give you some time if you want to try to solve this before I move on to showing the solution. It begins with knight b6 check. Knight d6 only ends up being a draw. After king c7, we have this perpetual. Instead, knight b6, and now king b8 is forced. If you play king d8, then after c7, you end up getting forked anyway. So king b8, c7 check is the only way. If you try knight d7, then you don't end up making progress after king a7, knight c8, king a8, knight b6, king b8, and c7 would work if not for the fact that queen takes c7 is possible. That's part of why actually I put the queen on this square in the first place. When I was digging around originally, I was running into a problem where this was a duplicate solution. I believe I had the queen on e3 at that time. So with the queen on f4, this resource is prevented. So instead, c7 is the only way to win here. King a7, and now this is the key moment of the puzzle. So we finally get to the star moment of the position, where the only way to win is with c8 knight, under promoting, and now white has 3 knights. So shout out to my friend Kyle for this suggestion. It's important to look at why the most natural move in the world, promoting to a queen, actually doesn't work here. As usual with me, there's a stalemate trick. So queen d2, king a4, and now one of the easiest ways to draw is with queen a5 check. Takes a stalemate, but after king b3, check. This is just a theoretical draw because black can just take the knight on the next turn and white can't win this. So we return to c8 knight, upon which the only move is king b8, and now knight e d7. The knights are absolutely swarming black here, and after the only move king c7, knight d5 is going to pick up the queen on the next turn and win the game. So that was the video. I hope that you found that insightful or you learned something from that, and are maybe even inspired to make your own puzzle. But if not, please let me know of any suggestions or feedback, and I'll see you in a future video.